Thank you for joining us for Powering Virginia. I'm your host, Jessica Aug, exploring sustainability in the greater Richmond region and ways to put green back in your pocket. It's a hobby enthusiasts and newbies are buzzing about, the art of beekeeping. Plus, for the curious, find out how you can comfortably be just an inch away from a working beehive to see just how social these creatures are. And we'll visit a resource for recycling and upcycling that hopes you'll donate most everything you can't already recycle, giving it a new life. And right now, it's a honey of a hobby. We're heading to the backyard to learn about beekeeping.
Well, I walked to work and I saw that there was a lot of clover and a lot of abelia bushes and other plants that bees would normally be very attracted to, and I didn't see any bees on them. And so I started reading about bees and going to bee meetings at the different clubs to try to learn more about the bees. I took a couple of beekeeping classes, and then I ended up getting my beekeeping apparel and woodenware, and then I ordered some bees.
Today, that hive houses more than 50,000 honeybees, and city-dwelling homeowner Jody Conway has already given away 2 nucleus hives to others interested in beekeeping.
I was really afraid to get bees because I live in the city and I didn't think I had the right space or the right location, and I thought, you know, I considered putting them on a roof like they do in New York. But I'm scared of heights, so that wasn't an option. And so I opted for a little spot in my yard here, and it's worked out really well.
Richmond Beekeepers Association President R.D. Radford is very active introducing the art and supporting new beekeepers in Central Virginia. He's been at it for more than 40 years.
I started just because I wanted bees around my garden and bought a couple of hives, and then back then I ordered 2 packages from Sears Roebuck, and they came in the mail and started off. But it's a different world now. Back then you didn't have to do hardly anything. You could just set a hive out, give them a couple gallons of sugar water in the spring.
Beekeeping has changed over the years, but the experience gained and lessons learned by enthusiasts is helping to keep today's hobbyists buzzing.
And you need people to show you what to do, right? I mean, the bees know what they need to do, but then we have to teach the people what they need to do.
One of R.D.'s many students is his granddaughter.
He's been teaching me about bees ever since I could learn, I guess. But it's been for the past 2 years is when I've been really involved. I've been going to talks with him and getting involved with the clubs and little activities and stuff like that.
I like bees. I think the most exciting thing about bees is there's just so much to know about them and so much to learn about them, and they're so complex.
Backyard beekeeping is more than a hobby to harvest honey. The powerful creatures are a critical link for Central Virginia.
They pollinate. There's a lot of crops that we wouldn't have, right? Like the watermelons, the cantaloupes, pumpkins. They're getting ready now to move pumpkins into the pumpkin field so they can pollinate them. And the apple orchards early in the spring, they have to have the honeybees, right? And everything they say, 1 out of every 3 bites that we take is contributed to pollination from the honeybees, right?
Well, I have certainly more vegetables and flowers as a result. They, you know, tend to forage up to about 3 miles away, so they may not even be really foraging so much in my yard. But I've certainly seen a big improvement on the things that are blooming and taking off in my yard from before I had them.
It's important work and is fun, and R.D. welcomes the chance to help new beekeepers get started.
Plus, there's plenty of people who don't want to look after a hive but would love to have it on their property to get the benefits of pollination. And most likely you'll give them a jar of honey as a say and thanks. So there are plenty of people looking for that.
I think that's probably my favorite part of the beekeeping, is just seeing the excitement and the interest and the, you know, some kids will come in and they're scared of the bees and they're like, ooh, bees. But then you start talking to them and explaining things to them, and then they get really interested, and it's just a really exciting experience to be able to talk to them and pass that knowledge on and hopefully increase their interest enough to potentially maybe one day become beekeepers themselves.
Learn more about the Richmond Beekeepers Association. Follow the direct link on WTVR.com/poweringvirginia. So maybe you're not quite ready for a hive of your own. You still can get up close to a busy hive, no bee suit required.